It's been a while since I made a discussion video, so let's fix that. In 2019, I made a video titled, "Should there be a new Battlefield mobile game?" In the video, I asked that question and said yes, EA should make a new one. I said other developers should make mobile versions of their games as well. This was of course back when I had a way higher interest in mobile games than I do now. And what do you know, 3 years later, here we are. Quite a few major companies release versions of their games on mobile. Here's a list of every major game I know that is coming to mobile or has already been released. PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Apex, with some other games soon to be released such as Battlefield Mobile, Assassin's Creed Codename Jade, and Valorant Mobile. So this begs the question, are mobile games making a comeback? Let's elaborate what I mean by this. In the late 2000s, early 2010s, companies would make certain mobile games to replicate the highlights of what AAA gaming was at the time. The main highlight being single player. Two good examples of this were Bad Company Mobile and Nova 3. Nova 3 was a full single player campaign you could play on your phone that could take 5 to 10 hours to complete. It's definitely odd talking about it nowadays, but devs wanted to be able to reach you regardless of what type of gaming console you had. Of course, this didn't work out as well as the devs wanted to. You can't just barf out whatever and call it a day. When it comes to mobile games, you need to more smartly design them so this way they feel easy to pick up and play. Now I'll admit, some games worked better than others, but for the most part, developers were not putting in as much thought as they should have when it came to mobile games. So with time, these games faded away. They either died out or were not updated to work with newer phones. They were over time replaced with arguably games that were worse in concept but better in design. I'm talking about games from companies like Voodoo or Madbox. These games are pretty much cash grabs that reuse all sorts of assets and are filled with ads. But I'm being a dead horse by ranting about these companies as many have already done so. But I think the major mobile gaming space really changed around the release of COD Mobile along with the backing of PUBG and Fortnite Mobile. These games showed that plenty of people still want these higher end experiences on their phones. So since then, certain developers have made their way back into the mobile space with more tightly and smartly designed games, aiming at what people want. Most importantly, these games are reflective of the current trends you see in gaming now. That's why a lot of them are also multiplayer focused. Don't get me wrong, there still are plenty of single player games coming out, but I admit these days the highlight is more on multiplayer. And that's what these games are more reflective of, that being the current highlights and trends in current gaming. Just like we saw all those years ago, but of course this time they're more smartly designed and longevity is more properly in place. Also, multiplayer is more profitable. They are doing this to chase the profits that multiplayer games can make, which really is the main incentive for multiplayer to be a trend: profits. And with mobile, it can be easier to reach some untapped markets. Nonetheless though, what do you think? Does it really feel like mobile games are trying to emulate AAA games, or is this something different? I would love to hear you guys' comments and opinions about this whole subject.